So I'd like to talk for a few minutes about this idea of animal lovers. Today, more than ever, people have pets, people love animals, people are concerned about animals, people won't even buy products if they knew that animal testing was used in creating this product. But let's take a biblical look. Do you know that in the Bible, in the Torah actually states that one of the 613 commandments is that a person has to be careful not to cause pain to an animal. And even if an animal is in pain, that a person has to go and try to remove the pain from that animal. Here's some examples to think about as to where Jewish thinking was or is when it comes to the idea of cruelty to animals. The Talmud points out that normally there is a law in Jewish behavior that when a Jew is about to eat bread, the first thing he or she does is washes her hands or his hands and makes a blessing over the hands, and then actually makes another blessing over the blessing of the bread. And since these two blessings are supposed to be joined as one, it's prohibited to make an interruption between the blessing on the hands and the blessing on the bread, unless it's relevant to the blessing. For example, the person needs a knife, the person needs salt, something that's related to the blessing is not considered an interruption. And yet the Talmud says that if the person realizes after having washed his hands or her hands that they have not fed their animals, they are allowed to tell somebody, go and feed the cows, go and feed the dog, and then to make the blessing on the bread, and that is not considered an interruption. Why? Because a person is obligated to feed their animals before themselves. Another idea, castration. Many people love their pets, but they castrate their pets. They castrate their dogs, they castrate their cats. This is prohibited by Torah law. These are animals. If you really love them, then you appreciate that they're created by the same God that creates you. They have every right to their life and their experiences and all of the rest of that. And if their situation becomes overwhelming for you, why castrate them? Maybe you should think about what you're doing to be able to really be an animal lover. And let's take it one more step, and then we'll leave it at this point. Here's something that'll really blow your mind if you really want to know about a culture that is really concerned with animal rights. Did you know, as the Talmud says, that should there be a situation where an animal would be put to death because whatever it did that was something like it killed somebody or did something that warrants the death penalty, that animal is entitled to a lawyer and brought into Jewish court to stand before the court, and the lawyer's job is to argue the rights of the animal? Where do you find this? I mean, a lot of people say they love animals. You come over to somebody and they say, see him eating fish, and the guy says, I love fish. Well, actually, he doesn't love fish at all. He loves to eat fish. But when you really love something, then you care about that and you're concerned about that. And therefore, when you understand that care and concern, that's something that not only should go to animals, but certainly should go to all people in the world.